Buddy, Juno 2000 here, coming at you with what a huge piece of shit this movie is. I know there's a 4K out there, but fuck getting that 4K. Or fuck getting this movie on Blu-ray. See the Chucky? Fuck this piece of shit. Don Fettuccine still wants to say that this is a motherfucking masterpiece. He still wants to shit on Tom Holland for fucking up the original. He wants to shit on the third movie and thinks it's a piece of fucking shit. And he wants to bitch and moan about they wanted me to be involved in the remake. So I said, fuck you. And I wanted all the creators that were involved in the TV show with me to boycott the remake and make it not that great. So, yeah, because the remake didn't do shit in theaters. And because they heard Don Fettuccine's whiny bitch ass that wanted to like boycott the movie and make it not do good in theaters so it won't get a sequel. But his piece of shit TV show still exists. And yeah, he still wants to think that this piece of shit, this stupid fucking piece of fucking shit, is a masterpiece. This movie can kiss my ass because this movie is an epitome of piece of fucking shit. It's a piece of shit. And I do not understand the praise this fucking movie gets. I know it's to each their own. That's cool if anybody loves the movie. I respect that. But when Don Fettuccine still wants to disrespect the third movie, and he wants to disrespect the first movie because, he's unhappy how the first movie came out because he didn't like it because Tom Holland fucked up the script. No, Tom Holland should get a lot of credit, Don fucking Fettuccine, because he made Chucky who it was. He was the one that helped out. He's the one that made Chucky an icon. He's like John Carpenter and Deborah Hill, how they made Michael Myers what it was, a classic. It's like how Clive Barker made Pinhead what it made into a classic, Hellraiser. What Tobe Hooper made Leatherface into a classic from the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and even The Family with Nubbins and Grandpa and the cook. The family, so the Sawyer family, how they made them as that classic character. But Don Fettuccine still wants to think that this movie is the fucking epitome of greatness. Bullshit. Because this movie fucking stinks and it sucks fucking balls too. Fuck this movie. So this movie's about after the events of Bride, and I know a lot of people don't like Bride, but I do enjoy the movie. It does have some stupid ass parts, but I did like Chucky and the Tiffany character. They were like the best parts of the movie, and I did like Alexis Arquette as the Damien character, and all in all, but just. And the music was good. It's just I didn't give a shit about the Jesse and Jade storyline. That was a shitty part of the movie that I didn't give a rat's ass. But to me, it's more watchable than this fucking piece of shit that's laughably bad, full on bullshit and bullshit comedy. This movie, I know, is a comedy, and I did a review about it. I know it's a comedy because it's meant to be a comedy. Because it looked like Freddy Krueger was having fun with the character that Robert Englund plays. It looked like he was having fun, more fun than the fucking fifth movie. This movie, they have Chucky jerking off. And of course, this is the theatrical version. This is not the piece of shit unrated version, which it shows that, oh, instead of like an extended scene from the deleted scenes added into the unrated, because that unrated version I have seen, and it's a piece of shit, because all it is, seeing Chucky's crotch where he's masturbating. That's it for like 3 seconds of that, and then of that fucking bullshit, and a bit of an extended ending where after Tiffany, who's in for Tilly's body, who's possessed at the end, she is, it's an extended part where she's like trying to hide the housemaid that she killed into a closet. That's like the extended part. That's the only thing that's in the unrated version. That's bull fucking shit. That is such a shitty unrated version. Like, really? And they just make Chucky such a fucking joke in this movie. And it's just a bunch of bullshit crap around it. Such a piece of shit. I know some people that have seen this movie do not like this movie. But yes, I have to admit myself, I did like this as a kid. But I have seen this movie for now as an older person. I started hating this fucking piece of shit of how ridiculous, stupid, and bad this movie is. Okay, I did laugh at some parts, but this movie's a piece of shit. It's about after the events of Bride and Chucky, Chucky and Tiffany had a newborn baby at the end that killed Lane. I wasn't Dane. I forgot the guy's name, but he's the guy that played the detective in the movie, and he's also in Happy Birthday to Me. But he's at the cop that gets killed by the newborn baby of Chucky and Tiffany, and it's Glenn, and he jumps on him before the movie ends and kills him off screen, and then the movie opens, because you get now to this movie, see the Chucky, where it opens with sperm, which is Chucky's sperm, and we get through like all the fertilizer of the sperm flying through Tiffany's uterus, and you get like the born of the kid of, it's showing you like this weird CGI effects during this opening credits, and it's fucking bizarre to just show this stuff, like, and showing you how Glenn is born, and he randomly has a made in Japan logo, which, how does that get on there? And Chucky seems to have it for some reason, which is weird. Like, he didn't have that. None of the good guy dolls had that stuff. He didn't even have that in the Bride of Chucky. His hand didn't set that. So, yeah, and it's just weird ass opening where Glenn is conceived and born, and it's supposed to like show you how he's in the body getting formed into a baby, and of course the end is like him screeching, so that means that gets the part where he's coming out and gonna kill the detective at the end of the Bride of Chucky. Bizarre opening credit, but I'll give credit. The movie does have a good theme song. I did like the theme song more than the opening credit. It was kind of bizarre, but with the opening credits, but the music was pretty good, because I know who did the music. Pino Donagino. He composed a lot of movies, especially some Italian horror movies, like a Argento films. He composed, damn it, he composed a lot of good movies. So yeah, the music isn't that bad. I would say that's the best thing about the movie, is the music. I did like the music. because the theme song is pretty good. But the movie goes on with this bratty British girl where she gets this package of a doll and she's like, "This is the ugliest thing I've seen in my whole life." And she's just an ungrateful little fucking shithead where she just throws the doll because she thinks it's ugly, and the doll comes alive after they're going to bed or something, and the doll just grabs a knife from the cake and stabs the dad, and then goes and does a cycle reference where he stabs the mom that's taking a shower, and then boom, he's about to stab, but she slips and falls and cracks her head on the floor, and she's about to go kill the little bratty girl, but the girl's like tricking him where, oh, he stabs a little doll that's in her place instead, and she turns around and sees her standing in front of the door. "You killed my mommy and daddy. Now you're pissing your pants. You're pissing your pants. You're pissing your pants." Like, what the fuck is that? What kind of line is that? You're pissing your pants. And there's a shot of the soon to be character that you get now, Glenn, who's the child of Chucky and Tiffany. And he just randomly is like looking at himself like, "Oh, I'm pissing my pants." And of course he wakes up and it turns out it was just a nightmare. And he's owned by this guy named Psych, who reveals in his puppet contest show that he found Glenn at the cemetery. So I guess he had him for a long time as a dog and stuff. And he treats Glenn like shit, and Glenn is just saying random fucking jokes. And I don't know, it just, he has like these weird lines, and of course there's Psycho reference where his hand is touching by a fly, and yeah, Psycho. It keeps referencing Psycho. I rather watch Psycho. Even Psycho 2 and 3 are much better than this piece of shit. And of course, you get a cameo by Jason Fleming, who was in Guy Ritchie's Snatch and Long Stock, Two Smoking Barrels, and he was also one of the mercenaries in Deep Rising with Trent Williamson. Very underrated creature feature film. But he cameos as this killer, that is Santa that gets killed by Chucky and Tiffany in this movie set, whatever the hell it's fucking called. And it's like a movie within a movie. So they have that bullshit in because they want to go meta, like Scream and all that shit. Even New Nightmare. I'd rather watch New Nightmare. But the movie goes on about Glenn trying to find his parents, and he escapes Sykes' imprisonment, and by having a rat bite in his hand and distracting and trying to get on a truck to get out of there and go from London to Los Angeles. And of course he gets there and he's like trying to like find his parents, and then he finds them and revives them because he has the Dumbledore amulet for some reason, and it's just bizarre that how did he had it? He wasn't he an infant when Psych found him? That didn't make any sense. I thought Chucky had the amulet, but the movie just goes on about this stupid crap. Oh, we have a kid. We don't know what to call her, Glenn or Glenda, Glenn or Glenda. Like, and of course, John Fettuccine wants to reference the Glenn and Glenda movie from Ed Wood's. Like, to me, I rather watch the Ed Wood movie by that was it the movie that's based on the shitty director. The Ed Wood movie that's directed by great Tim Burton, because they based on Ed Wood, because Ed Wood was infamous for being like a shitty director that made bad movies. But the movie adaptation of Ed Wood that was directed by Tim Burton, starring Johnny Depp and Martin Landau, I rather watch that. But Glenn is trying to revive his parents, And then he revives him, and then they kill one of the special effects dude, Tony Gardner, where they have a wire going around his neck and decapitating, and then you get the real Jennifer Tilly in the movie for some reason, and because she's also voicing the Tiffany character, and it's just random, like, and bizarre. But she just grabs the decapitated Tony Gardner's head and starts making out with it, and until she realized it was just real, it wasn't a fake head. It was just weird. And then John Waters has a cameo, of course, because he's a big Chucky fan, and he worked with Child Plays 3 actor Justin Whalen. And John Waters is this perverting paparazzi scumbag that Chucky calls him. And of course, Chucky and Tiffany don't know what Glenn and Glenda's gender is because they took his pants off and they checked if he had a dick or a vagina. He didn't have nothing, so why not? Like, because of course, dolls are not gonna have genitals, but they kind of bitch at each other like, I want to call him Glenn, I want to call him Glenda. He's a boy, he's a girl, damn it. Oh, fuck. Because some of that argument got annoying. Like, gosh dang. Like, Don Fettuccine loves this movie. He enjoys it. He thinks this is a masterpiece over 3. Of course, they're trying to, like, impregnate Jennifer Tilly so they could go back into a human form and just ditch the dolls' bodies. So they try to impregnate her with Chucky's semen and trying to find, like, to be like having her impregnated so they have, like, the babies be born and put Glenn or Glenda's soul into them. And Tiffany could be Jennifer Tilly, and then Chucky could be Red Man. And Red Man's randomly in this movie. Originally, his character, that he's like the movie director, that rapper turned Christian movie director. Originally, that role was supposed to be played by Quentin Tarantino, but he was busy doing Kill Bill at the time, so they instead got Red Man. But originally, it was meant for Quentin Tarantino to be in the movie, but Red Man is in the movie, and of course, there's a lot of reference to a lot of movies that are better. Even he had a Scarface poster that I'd rather watch Tony Montana snorting coke and going say hello to my little friend over this bullshit. Yeah. Of course, Red Man is just in the movie. They impregnate Jennifer Tilly. Chucky sees John Waters because Chucky was jerking off in the bathroom, and John Waters thinks it's just a midget jerking off, and it's Chucky masturbating for some reason and going, "Get it, meanie me." Well, gosh. Oh, thank God for the little people. What the fuck, John Waters? You make good movies like Hairspray and Serial Mom. What the hell? Okay, I did laugh that line when he called him meaning me. Okay, that was a funny line, but just seeing Chucky masturbate, like, really, we're stuck to this bullshit. But instead, they don't like. Well, whatever. Fuck that argument. But they go to John Waters' place after they steal Red Man's truck, and they run off the hill of wannabe Britney Spears, girl that looked like Britney Spears, and they throw her ass off because she's like road raging with Chucky, and road raging's calling her son of a bitch, up yours, asshole. And of course, they kill Britney Spears. Oops, I did it again. What the fuck, man? And then, of course, they kill John Waters after John Waters sees in the picture that is Chucky that's in the building. And then Glenn tries to yells no, and then makes John Waters fall back into a sulfuric acid that falls in his face. Good practical effects. Where half of his face turned into Two-Face, where skeleton remains and guts of his face are showing with his jaws. Cool effects, but I would say that's the best kill in the movie. But the movie goes on about, oh, Jennifer Tilly's pregnant in this voodoo pregnancy with Tiffany getting her pregnant with Chucky's semen. And then she thinks that Red Man is the father. But Red Man just becomes a prick. Like, I'm not your kid because I have a vasectomy, so I'm not an idiot. But I can't cast you, Jennifer. So the Virgin Mary has to be hot. So, of course, Tiffany tells Chuck, wants to have Chucky go cold turkey, but she slips up and kills Red Man because she wants to take her rage on him. And of course, she slices him in gut. A bunch of intestines come out, steaming. Which is pretty brutal, but all in all, the movie just goes on about them arguing about Glenn and Glenda being a girl, being a boy, being a girl, being a girl. Like, fuck. How long do they have to argue with this fucking bullshit? Like, they took his pants off. They show their kid has no genitals. So, fuck it, just call him Glenda. He's not like Chucky, where Don Fettuccine wants to like show a close up in the unrated version. Oh, he's showing him with whereby there's a close up shot of Chucky's crotch where he's like touching his dick. What the fuck, man? Like, come on. And the argument kept going on throughout the movie, like, oh, he's a boy, he's a girl, god damn it. And he's the most promising killer of them all. You should have seen him, Tim. You're tearing me apart. What I want, why want. What I why want. I feel like being a girl. I feel like being a boy. And of course, they're trying to like find somebody else to be Chucky's body, to like a guy, so they could have, because Tiffany killed Red Man, so he can't be Red Man. So they have this they have Jennifer Tilly's limo driver for some reason, who has like this crush for her secretly, but he doesn't want to admit to her. And all in all, it's just very shitty dialogue throughout this movie. Of course, was it Jennifer Tilly has his assistant girl named Joan, who was like secretly her fan because she sends her fan mail. But she fired her early in the movie because Jennifer Tilly was being like a bitch to her, like, because her assistant Joan was like telling her, you should not be doing this, not using person to like sexualize yourself to like get fame. You should be normal. But like, she gets mad at him, and she gets mad at her and then fires Joan, and but calling her back. I think it was like during like she was like finding out, oh, I'm pregnant, and she gets attacked by Chucky. And that's when she goes to her house, knocking on the door. Chucky has that line, it's a nosy bitch, Joan. I'll take care of her. And of course, she goes in to let herself in, and she sees Jennifer Tilly tied up and her limo driver tied up. And of course, Chucky's about to stab her, but Tiffany comes and sprays her with a fire, and she gets thrown off the second story stairs and falls all burned up. And it turns out it's Glenn as a girl, as Glenda, dressing like Tiffany. And I'm like, fuck Glenn or Glenda, whatever the hell they want to call it. Like, fuck this character. Like, he killed an innocent character. Like, I'm like, fuck this character. Like, I'm supposed to feel sympathy. Like, oh, because it has a split personality. No, I don't like this character. It's super annoying character. Like, one of the worst characters in the Chucky franchise. But I'll give credit. I do like the Billy Boyd's voice acting as him in the first half of the movie, but I just don't like the character at this point, like how the character's getting super annoying. And then he goes on and like, oh, I have this evil side of Glenda where I wanna kill. But he killed an innocent girl. Like a was it Jennifer Tully's assistant? Like it was an innocent person that did nothing wrong. So like fuck Glenn or Glenda. And of course she gets snapped out of and going back as Glenn after Tiffany's seen this change of Glenn, so to snap him back in as Glenn, giving him a smack, and then of course Jennifer Taylor's going into labor and having twins as her newborn babies, a boy and a girl. And of course they want to like use the Dambala so they could go back as humans, but they have to make a decision. Oh, Glenda, which one do you want to be, boy or girl? And then everybody's like yelling at each other, like babies are crying, and Chucky just says, "Fucking shut up! I am tired of this. You get old. Why would you want to be? Why would I want to be a fucking human? You get old and you die. I am Chucky, the killer doll, and I dig it." I'm like, about fucking time they had Chucky finally said this. Like, then why the fuck did he waited this long? If he admitted that he liked being the doll better. I did like the line, but just like, why? Why did they wait this fucking long? They wasted time in fucking Bride of Chucky and all those in the third movie. Like, why couldn't it just do it on Bride? Like we said, fuck this Dambala shit. Let's just be as dolls instead. But this long. But I was on Chucky's side. Like, fuck them. Fuck Tiffany and Glenda. I wanted Chucky to win. But of course they backfire. Chucky wanted to throw the knife at Tiffany so Tiffany won't beat her. But the limo driver frees himself and gets himself stabbed. And of course he's trying to like say that, oh, I love you, but he just doesn't say it because he dies from the stab wound. And of course they make their escape from the police that gets in. Of course Jennifer Tilly's at the hospital. And of course Tiffany and Glenda's there to like make Jennifer Tilly sleep so they could do the Dambala possession, transferring the souls from Tiffany's body to Jennifer Tilly's body. Then of course Chucky chomps through the door with an axe and tries this shitty Chucky reference. I mean shitty Shining reference. I can't think of a word to say. Fuck it. He starts like chopping the door, and of course he kills Tiffany in the head with the axe, and of course it pisses off Glenn, and Glenn does. So like he starts having this stupid fucking shitty martial art fight scene where Glenn just randomly is floating in the air doing backflips. Like, what the fuck was that? Like, it was so bizarre and shitty and just so dumb. And of course Chucky gets his arm amputated by Glenn, who has the axe, and he starts like chopping him in the arm and the legs. You love me now, Daddy? Do ya? Like Chucky's like yelling from all the decapitation of the bodies. He gets decapitated in the head. And of course, Glenda's getting all emotional, crying after killing his dad. And of course, he's comforted by Jennifer Tilly. And some years later, now the twins are grown up as like 7 and 6 year olds. And Glenn's soul pretty much split in his souls into two of them, Glenn and Glenda. And of course, Jennifer Tilly has this maid that wants to quit because she's kind of getting tired of the Glenda girl being a bad girl and mean and cruel to everybody and disrespectful kid. But she gets killed by Jennifer Tilly with a Tiffany doll that has a stitch on her head, and turns out the voodoo possession of the Damballa worked, and now Tiffany's in Jennifer Tilly's body because she has the green eyes, which is the Tiffany's eyes. So like now she's in Jennifer Tilly, so now she's in the body of Jennifer Tilly. So and then you get Glenn, who has like this birthday party, looking at a picture of his dad and him posing next to John Waters' dead body as split in half and burned by the sulfuric acid. And he gets a present and opens up and sees Chucky's arm, and he starts pissing his pants again, like piss jokes, like what the fuck. And then the hand just randomly grabs him by the neck and tries and look like it kills him, but that's it. That's how the movie ends. Like, I was cheering for Chucky to kill Tiffany and Glenn. I was like, fuck these two characters. If Chucky successfully killed them, I could have gave the movie a little prop, but no. Fuck this movie up its ass. And then, of course, they have the montages of all this actors and cast and this One Way for Another song, but like in a shitty current music version of the song, not the original song. By not, I think Blondie sang the original song. One way for another, I'm gonna get you one way or another. I think they were trying to get the original song for Blondie, but I'm glad they didn't use the original. I'm glad they just used a shitty remix, like a shitty new version of the song, because this movie sucks. It sucks. It sucks monkey dick, because this movie is fucking crap. This is the epitome of a piece of shit sequel. I know there's a 4K out there. I know there's a Blu-ray, but nah. I'll just keep this in some. I'll just keep this as like part of the collection, just the DVD. But all in all, fuck Seed of Chucky. This movie is a piece of shit. This movie had more time to be interviewed and talked about on that shitty Living Chucky documentary, which I can say that documentary can go fuck itself, because they talk about Child Play 3 for 3 minutes, and Don Fettuccine just shits on the movie. That's it. No actors that were interviewed for that. I'm like, fuck that documentary. That's disrespectful to the third movie, and I'm sick of the third movie getting so much shit on. Like, is the black sheep? It's a piece of shit. It's boring. No, that's the other thing that also sucks about the movie. That's not just only a piece of shit. It's boring as fuck too in some parts, and it gets annoying with the arguments. I want Glenn to be a girl. I want Glenn to be a boy. God damn it! Like, what the hell is this fucking bullshit? This movie gets its ass kicked by Child's Play 3 and the 2019 remake that Don Fettuccine wants to fucking bitch about and moan. It's a piece of shit. I don't want to be involved in it. But yeah, because his stupid fucking show is still on, and yeah, I don't give a rat's ass about his TV show. And he wants to think this movie is a masterpiece. Go ahead, think it's a masterpiece. Fucking kiss that movie's ass, and still shit on Child Play 3, motherfucker. But yeah, that's a rant, huge rant on Seed of Chucky, which I think is the worst Chucky movie in the franchise. Next to Cold of Chucky, which I think is a piece of shit as well. But yeah, I rather watch the remake a million times over that. It just Seed of Chucky is just such a fucking piece of shit. But yeah, that's my rant of this piece of shit Seed of Chucky that Don Fettuccine wants to think it's a masterpiece. But yeah, have a good day, everybody. Take care.